You know that spice that just screams holidays? The one you find in everything from eggnog to pumpkin pie? Well, that warm, aromatic spice in your kitchen, it's got a secret. Today, we're diving deep into the hidden story of nutmeg.
So take a look at this. This is the fruit from the Myristica fragrans tree. And believe it or not, it's the source of two different spices. The seed on the inside, that's our nutmeg. And that bright red, web-like stuff wrapped around it, that's mace. But its amazing flavor is really just the beginning of the story.
So let me ask you this. What if that cozy, comforting spice has a hidden side? A side that's been used in traditional medicine for centuries, but also one that carries a really serious risk? Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, first things first. Let's start with the side of nutmeg we're all familiar with and trace its incredible journey from ancient medicine right into our modern kitchens. Nutmeg's history is just, wow, it's so rich. For hundreds of years, it was way more than just a flavor. In ancient Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine, it was a go-to for things like digestion and pain relief. Then you fast forward to 17th century Europe, and people were using it for everything from toothaches to, get this, even trying to prevent the plague. By the middle of the 20th century, its role kind of shifted more towards perfumes and just seasoning. But now, today, science is actually coming back around and taking a new look at all those medicinal properties that ancient cultures seem to know about all along.
So what are the actual health benefits we're talking about here? Let's take a tour of the scientifically supported good side of nutmeg.
At first glance, if you look at the nutritional stats for 100 grams of nutmeg, the numbers are just absolutely staggering. I mean, up to 378% of your daily manganese, 342% of your copper, and over 100% of your magnesium and iron. On paper, this thing looks like a total superfood.
But here's the reality check. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is eating 100 grams of nutmeg. That would be incredibly dangerous, as you're about to find out. A typical pinch is less than a single gram. So the real power isn't coming from those minerals. Nope, it's coming from its potent and really complex chemistry, the phytochemicals inside.
And this is where it gets really cool. Modern science is actually backing up what traditional medicine has been saying for centuries. Nutmeg is a powerful antioxidant, which means it helps fight cell damage. It's a digestive aid that can help soothe your stomach. Its anti-inflammatory properties might help with pain, and it has a mild sedative effect that makes it a pretty good natural sleep aid. There's even some evidence that it can support brain health. Pretty impressive, right?
But, you know, every Dr. Jekyll has a Mr. Hyde. And with nutmeg, that transformation from good to bad is all about one thing, the dose. So now let's look at what happens when this helpful little spice turns toxic.
There's this quote that just perfectly sums up the whole deal with nutmeg. The difference between a medicinal remedy and a toxic agent is solely a matter of quantity. That one sentence, that's the absolute key to understanding this spice. So where is that line? Where does it cross over? You might be surprised at how small it is. 5 grams. That's it. That's about 1 teaspoon. At that dose, nutmeg stops being a harmless spice and becomes a potent and, frankly, dangerous psychoactive substance. This is the official threshold for a toxic overdose. And the symptoms of nutmeg poisoning are severe. We're not just talking about a little stomachache here. We're talking about deep confusion, delirium, dizziness, even hallucinations. Sure, it can cause nausea and abdominal pain, but it also messes with your body's automatic systems, leading to things like dry mouth and changes in your pupils. And in really high doses, it can actually lead to shock. And there's a really critical warning for pregnant women. For them, high doses are absolutely forbidden. Why? Because historically, nutmeg was actually used as an abortifacient. That's a substance that can induce a miscarriage. The risk is real, and it has to be taken very, very seriously. Okay, so why? Why does nutmeg have this complete split personality? To really get it, we need to zoom in and meet the actual molecules that are responsible for all its effects, both the good and the bad.
It pretty much boils down to two main players. On one side, we have myristicin. You can think of this as our Mr. Hyde. It's the psychoactive compound that causes that mild sedation at low doses and the severe toxicity at high doses. On the other side, we have eugenol. That's our Dr. Jekyll. It's a powerful antioxidant, and it's a huge reason why nutmeg has those great anti-inflammatory benefits.
And it turns out, not all parts of the nutmeg plant are created equal. The concentration of that risky compound, myristicin, changes a lot depending on where you get it from. You can see here, oil from the nutmeg leaf has a really high concentration, over 9%, while oil from mace has a lot less, under 6%.
This is a perfect example of why the specific source of a nutmeg extract is so important when we're talking about safety.
So we have a spice that can be a gentle, helpful remedy or a potent poison. The key here, like with so many things in nature, is just understanding and respect. So, how do we actually use it safely?
The takeaway here is super clear and actionable. First, and most importantly, enjoy it in your kitchen. A little pinch for flavor is completely safe, not to mention delicious. Second, avoid high doses. Just don't ever consume several grams at once. Third, you've got to be aware that nutmeg can actually interact with how your liver processes certain medications. And finally, never ever try to self-medicate with high doses of nutmeg. If you're thinking about it for therapeutic reasons, you absolutely must talk to a medical professional.
So what's the big takeaway from this whole journey into our own spice cabinet? I think it's a powerful reminder that even the most familiar, everyday ingredients can have incredibly complex secrets. The line between a medicine and a poison can be as thin as a single teaspoon. The next time you reach for that humble jar of nutmeg, you'll know you're holding both a powerful remedy and a potent risk. The only difference is respect for the dose.